USCIS has quietly built something into NIW adjudication that many petitioners barely notice, a kind of hidden accelerator. I call it the STEM boost. And the most important thing to understand about the STEM boost, the thing that catches even careful petitioners off guard, is this: it is mercurial. It turns out to be affected by the calendar. The STEM boost, and I'll explain exactly what that is in a moment, is unlocked by one of two quite distinct positive showings. One is you showing that your proposed endeavor advances a critical and emerging technology, CET, defined on the National Science and Technology Council's CET list, which is updated periodically. That is to say, that list changes. The other is you showing that your proposed endeavor advances a STEM area important to U.S. competitiveness or national security, which also changes because it depends on what the government is currently saying competitiveness or national security calls for. These things change. Your ability to make a positive showing changes over time, which means that the exact same petitioner, say the same Ph.D., same publication, same proposed endeavor, same citation count, same case, can receive a meaningfully different adjudication depending on when their petition is filed. That sounds dramatic. Unfortunately, immigration law occasionally has a flair for drama. So what is the STEM boost technically? I told you I would get to that, and I will, but let me give you the EB2 NIW framework first. The NIW analysis, which determines whether you merit an NIW, it is based on a three-pronged test from the 2016 case matter of Danazar. Prong 1 requires you to show that your proposed endeavor has substantial merit and national importance. Prong 2 requires you to show that you are well positioned to advance your proposed endeavor. Prong 3 requires that, on balance, it is more beneficial to the United States to waive the job offer and labor certification requirements than it is to keep them in place. The STEM boost affects Prong 2 and 3. Under Prong 2, the prong that asks whether you are well positioned to advance the proposed endeavor, the policy manual, USCIS policy manual, says an advanced degree, particularly a Ph.D. in a STEM field tied to the proposed endeavor and related to work furthering a critical and emerging technology or other STEM area important to U.S. competitiveness or national security is, and I'm quoting here, an especially positive factor. Especially positive factor. It is a phrase of rare bureaucratic warmth. Especially positive factor is immigration law language for please notice this person. At least it should be. A note on degrees. The policy manual text says advanced degree, particularly a PhD. A master's qualifies, and per recent AAO, that's Administrative Appeals Office, precedent, even a bachelor's degree plus 5 years of progressive post-degree experience, which counts as the equivalent of a master's, can support the STEM boost. So advanced degree sweeps more broadly than people sometimes assume. Prong 3 has its own version of the STEM boost. Under Prong 3, USCIS considers the following combination of facts to be a strong positive factor. The petitioner has an advanced STEM degree, particularly a PhD. The petitioner is engaged in work furthering a critical and emerging technology or other STEM area important to U.S. competitiveness. And the petitioner is well positioned to advance the proposed STEM endeavor of national importance. And there is a benefit to the U.S. that is deemed especially weighty where the endeavor has the potential to support U.S. national security or enhance U.S. economic competitiveness, or when the petition is supported by letters from interested U.S. government agencies. That's the system, a formalized adjudicatory boost. Now, back to the dimension that remains so tragically underappreciated by unguided petitioners: timing. Your ability to satisfy the conditions to merit the boost changes across time, occasionally dramatically. Let's take some of the requirements for the boost, all right? Let's start with the critical and emerging technology CET list. The list evolves. Technologies appear, technologies disappear. Priorities rise, priorities fade. Here's a concrete example. Between 2020 and 2024, advanced conventional weapons technologies, that category, it fell off the list and it has not reappeared. Agricultural technologies fell off and have not reappeared. Medical and public health technologies fell off and have not reappeared. The 2024 list, the Biden administration's last list, is the most recent one, and it is due for a restructuring. It's hard for me to imagine some technologies like clean energy generation and storage surviving a Trump administration restructuring. Restructurings obviously change things. What was maybe a strong anchored claim to the boost related to renewable energy might not hold up in the near future. Of course, if you cannot establish that your proposed endeavor advances a critical and emerging technology, you can still get a boost with regard to the second prong by showing your proposed endeavor, your future work advances a STEM area important to U.S. competitiveness or national security. I mentioned that there are two routes to get the boost. Similarly, the benefits of the third prong STEM boost remain within reach. If you can prove you are engaged in work furthering a STEM area important to U.S. competitiveness, and you are well positioned to advance the proposed STEM endeavor of national importance. Showing your future work advances a STEM area important to U.S. competitiveness or national security, or that you are engaged in work furthering a STEM area important to U.S. competitiveness, relies on something even more fluid than the changing critical and emerging technology list. It does not depend on a list at all. It depends on whether you can construct a persuasive, beautifully timed argument. This demands a literacy of the moment. This demands that you show your endeavor advances something the federal government recognizes or should recognize as now important to U.S. economic competitiveness or to national security. This argument is not conjured from thin air. It is pieced together through documents. The argument might be built from the documents the government itself produces, or not. For example, executive orders and presidential proclamations, memoranda, and directives from the executive office of the president, statements made by top officials, president, vice president, chief of staff, cabinet secretaries, deputy secretaries, etc., and speeches, press conferences, interviews, op-eds, regulatory filings, and notices. They can be documents that support the argument. Federal Register, you look there. You can look at notices of proposed rulemaking, final rules with preambles. You can look at the Congressional Budget Office, CBO analyses, and reports. Federal Reserve governors and officials, they make statements, they give speeches, testimony, minutes from meetings. You can look at assessments of U.S. policy from credible national and international organizations. I could go on and on. Often, the materials arise from something that is happening in the world. And this is what I mean. I'll give you an example. A geopolitical conflict happens. Energy prices or supply is used as a weapon in this conflict. Prices go up for gas at the pump. The New York Times reports on it. The energy secretary and president, they talk about energy independence being a matter of national security and economic competitiveness. The president gives speeches on energy independence. He makes an executive order about it too. A petitioner then suddenly has a lot of material to use. And it all started from that geopolitical conflict. That petitioner is in a vastly different position than he or she would have been in if oil was $50 a barrel and producers were moaning about it being unprofitable to drill. In Bloomberg and Barron's and the Wall Street Journal writing articles about the unprofitability of drilling. The important takeaway is that timing is an aside issue. It's sometimes critically important. I should make it clear that the stem boost is an accelerant, a way to supercharge your case. It is not the entire case. A petitioner who doesn't benefit from the boost can certainly still satisfy all of the requirements of Danazar, of the analytical framework. All of them, all three of the prongs. Without any STEM-specific enhancement. Moreover, you can benefit from this STEM bonus and still lose the case by failing to establish one of the prongs. I don't want to oversell the benefits of the STEM boost. The real lesson here is that the STEM boost, which does help your case, is not static. It's impacted by the moment. It depends, to put it plainly and simply, on what the United States government has publicly decided it cares about right now. And governments change priorities. They do. It happens. So if you find now to be great timing for whatever reason, maybe because of a geopolitical conflict or hope or fear surrounding, AI, or because of anything, take advantage of this moment. You should seize this moment, because a strong petitioner filing during a favorable policy moment is operating with a tailwind. Strategic petitioner files often with the help of a lawyer when it is most advantageous, legally speaking. Don't take time for granted. If you want help building an NIW case around the moment we're actually in, which might be the best moment you will ever be in, reach out. My law firm handles these cases every day. We build great cases for talented people. Contact information is in the description. And if this video was useful, subscribe, because more videos are on the way.